Every satellite photo, every classified briefing, every historical map you've ever seen might be hiding something terrifying. A truth so deeply buried it took centuries of silence, storms, and secrecy to remain hidden. Greenland. Vast, frigid, desolate. A land cloaked in ice and shadow. Most know it as a frozen wilderness. But beneath that thick sheet of ancient ice lies something else. Something not meant to be found. A secret older than history, more powerful than any nation dares to admit. And in September 2024, it was finally discovered. Not by chance, but by force. It started quietly. A routine Arctic surveillance mission, part of Operation Cold Sentinel. A classified joint effort between the US and NATO. The mission? Monitor shifting ice sheets and hidden Chinese and Russian activity near critical Arctic zones. But deep over northeast Greenland, a US military drone veered off course, glitching wildly, before crashing into what officials first described as an anomalous terrain depression. But that was a lie. What that drone actually found was so unnatural, so precise, it triggered an emergency protocol that hadn't been used since the height of the Cold War. What lay beneath the ice was a colossal hexagonal structure, miles wide, emitting low-frequency pulses that disrupted every electronic system nearby. It wasn't just large, it was alive. Shortly after the drone feed cut out, all eyes at NORAD watched in stunned silence as thermal imaging from a nearby satellite revealed the impossible. A faint blue energy field slowly expanding from the structure, pulsing, reacting to their presence. Enter Lieutenant Commander Michael Hartley, a veteran of multiple Black Ops campaigns and a man with nothing left to lose. In a leaked deathbed confession, made just weeks before his passing in February 2025, he recounted what he called the darkest mission of my life. Hartley was dispatched as part of a 6-man reconnaissance team, told only that they were investigating a foreign installation hidden beneath the ice. They parachuted into the ice fields of Greenland in complete radio silence. No coordinates, no satellite uplinks, just a compass, an encrypted briefing, and the chilling words, "Don't trust what you see." What they encountered was beyond comprehension. It wasn't just a base, it was a gate, an enormous metallic structure, half submerged in glacial ice, more advanced than anything Hartley had seen in his 22-year career. Its surface was impossibly smooth, untouched by time, ice, or erosion. Etched into its face were symbols that matched nothing in human history. Circular, recursive, pulsing faintly in a dull amber glow. And around it, strange black obelisks arranged in a perfect geometric alignment, each humming, as if reacting to their presence. Then, the silence broke. A sound, low, vibrating, deep enough to make blood feel heavy. One by one, their equipment failed. Radios dead, night vision scrambled, clocks stopped ticking, and then the ground shook. From beneath the ice, a fissure opened. A blue light poured out, brighter than the sun, colder than death. Within it, shadows moved, not people, not machines. Something else, fluid, silent, watching. Hartley claimed 2 of his men simply vanished. No screams, no gunfire, just gone, evaporated into the light. The remaining soldiers were pulled out hours later by an unmarked VTOL aircraft, blindfolded, drugged, debriefed in a remote Alaskan facility and separated indefinitely. Hartley never saw his team again, and just like that, Greenland went dark. Satellite imaging of the region was suddenly recalibrated. Civilian flight paths were diverted. NATO deployed research teams to nearby bases. The Danish government issued a statement calling it a minor geological anomaly. But insiders knew better, because hours after the Greenland event, the Pentagon issued an emergency-level review of global treaty boundaries, specifically those governing polar sovereignty. And within days, the White House locked down Arctic military files behind a level of classification not seen since 9/11. Now, in April 2025, as global tensions spiral and economies teeter on the edge, signs point back to Greenland. Back to that structure. The 2025 trade war isn't just about economics. The EU's retaliation against US tariffs has triggered a chain reaction. Canada hit back with $22 billion in restrictions. The EU, according to Reuters and Bloomberg, is moving toward economic decoupling. But what if these aren't just tit-for-tat policy shifts? What if they're positioning moves towards something bigger? Greenland holds the second largest concentration of rare earth metals on Earth, crucial for advanced technology, AI systems, and quantum computing. And yet, most of its interior remains untouched, unexplored, or perhaps deliberately kept that way. China has already made dozens of covert proposals to buy land rights in Greenland under the guise of scientific partnerships. But satellite images show more than research stations. Massive subterranean drilling zones, unusually deep, with no public record. Russia, meanwhile, has deployed Arctic-equipped weaponry to coastal points near the Greenland Sea, officially to protect vital northern assets. Unofficially, they're preparing for something they won't talk about, something they expect to come from below. Just like in Antarctica, the whispers are growing. In 1996, a classified joint mission between Danish and American forces uncovered an abandoned Nazi weather station on Greenland's east coast, but inside, they found more than rusted equipment. Deep below the outpost was a sealed bunker, lined with obsidian black material, humming with residual energy. Nazi records referred to it as Der Durchgang, the passage. Some say that the Nazis believed Greenland was not just a strategic location, but a threshold, a crossing point into another realm. Admiral Karl Donitz, one of Hitler's top naval officers, once claimed an invulnerable fortress existed beneath the Arctic ice, untouchable by outside forces. Few believed him, until now, because Hartley's structure wasn't the only one. Declassified geological readings show identical pulse signals, slow, rhythmic energy surges, resonating from 3 additional points across Greenland's ice sheet, each perfectly equidistant, each forming the corners of a massive triangle, a triangle large enough to cover the entire central island. And in the center, that first gate. What's inside it? We still don't know. But whispers from deep within the intelligence community suggest that DARPA is now testing dimensional frequency probes at a classified Arctic lab. The goal? To unlock a barrier they believe separates our world from something else. Something ancient, something buried. And as Elon Musk warns of a full-spectrum supply chain collapse, some wonder if this is the real reason behind his sudden Arctic interest. SpaceX satellites have been seen clustering over Greenland. Why? Musk hasn't said. Is he trying to monitor something? Or is he trying to contain it? The truth is, we don't know what the US military found in Greenland. But every sign points to something the world isn't ready to face. Hartley's final words were never meant for public ears, but they've since leaked to select circles. He said, "We thought it was ours to study, but it was never sleeping. It was waiting." Waiting for what? You feel it. That unsettling instinct. That pull toward the truth the world keeps hiding. Greenland is waking up, and when it does, the world may never be the same. No official map marks the gate's location. No satellite feed remains intact for more than seconds before static swallows the signal. The air above the site itself is different. Denser, unnaturally cold, with electromagnetic interference so intense, migrating birds have begun avoiding the region entirely. Locals from nearby Inuit settlements speak in hushed tones of strange auroras that dance across the sky at midnight, even during seasons when they should be invisible. One elder, Amaruk, spoke of a tale passed down generations. Of the Tupilak, not just the spirit vengeance creatures known in folklore, but guardians of a realm beneath the frost. His words, rough and halting, held a fear that couldn't be faked. They sealed it once, long before ice, long before men, but the seal is cracking. Meanwhile, back in Washington, there's been a disturbing silence. The Senate's Subcommittee on Arctic Strategy convened a private emergency session just weeks ago. No media, no statements, no record of who attended, but inside sources say DARPA, NASA, and even representatives from Lockheed Martin were all present. Subscribe now and hit the bell, because the truth isn't staying buried much longer, and you'll want to be here when it finally rises.